Hello, friends. How are you? This is Wendy, and in case you haven't been following me, I am a paper crafter. I am also an aspiring junk journaler. I'm not very good at it because I don't use a lot of junk. I need to learn. I aspire to this. And I'm a scrapbooker, and everything I do turns into a scrapbook. I'm serious. The thing is, I really like taking pictures. And so when you like to take pictures and then you scrapbook them and then you take more pictures so you can scrapbook them. It's a vicious circle. But today we are going to hopefully finish, and I mean really all the way done. Okay, it may not be all in one day, but this little golden book that I made for my son. It's all in pieces right now, but we are working at putting it together. First thing I want to do, and this is kind of for my own personal knowledge and for science, we'll call it science. This thing is in the way. So this is, by the way, it's a cutter peed. It's also by EK Success, and they had all things called cutter bees. Anyway, I don't know if they still make these. I know that there are other companies, Fiskars in particular, that does make these kind of cutting surfaces. But I'm not going to use this as a cutting surface. I'm going to use these little grooves. They're not very deep. I want to find out which one is going to be, which tool here that I have is going to be the best for making a 1/2 inch. I'm going to move this up a little bit. See if I can get, there we go. A 1/2 inch folding line. This is my experimental page or guinea pig page. So this, whoops, I got off of there. Maybe just going straight down. See, I'm trying to, since I'm going to have to do this. Oh, let's see. Can you see that line? Yeah, you can. That makes an excellent line. That might be the winner. Which one was that? Was that the smaller one or the bigger one? Gotta try this again. Okay. Because I don't remember. So here. Okay, so I butt that up against that. I'm going to move this out of the way. That's my cutting surface. This is the bigger size, not the smaller size. Okay. Okay, let's see if you can see that. Maybe you can see it better on here. There we go. That made a really nice groove. I don't think I need to look any further. I think I've definitely found the tool. I'll tell you a bit about them. I have 3 of them. I got these in a kit. Guess whose name is on here? There it is, Tim Holtz. You can use them for all kinds of different things. The kit that I got in has like a foam mat, and you can put your paper, say a paper flower down and roll it on the foam mat, and it'll kind of curl up. But the thing I use them for is for acrylic paints. And I just squirt a little acrylic paint here. The 2 that I have right now are red and white. Oh, I have gold also. But then you just dip it in here and you make dots on your paper. You can make big dots and itsy teeny weeny itty bitty. Oh, let me get it there. There we go. Dots. And so that's what I use them for. And they're great for that. But now I know that they're great for doing this. And I think, okay, I'm going to try one more with my bone folder. I'm going to keep this one out. Put these away. Okay, so let's try my bone folder. And I have several bone folders. This was my first one. And then I got a couple more in a kit. And I didn't get the kit for the bone folders. I got the kit for, oh, that makes a really good fold. Well, they're both winners because they both make really good folds. Okay, well, I know what I want to do. But I got a kit, and I bought the kit for this. This is called an awl. Anyway, the awl works really, really well. So we will be using that with our book. I'm going to put that right where I can find it. And I am going to move on to actually, we will move this out of the way. Now, if you were with me on my last video, let's see, these two I'm going to put here. So we're not working on those yet. If you were with me on my last video, I put together this one page and I overlapped it. And so then when I do so, and I'm going to poke with my awl, I'll be poking through this. One of the things I'm going to do right away with my bone folder is make a really nice crease. And I did make this little teeny tiny mistake. I'm going to try to do a little better next time. I'll either just leave it. I think once the book is made, it won't even be noticeable. But if it looks like it's going to be noticeable, then I will cut this little teeny amount that is off at the top and bottom of the pages. So this is page 1. And I want to make sure that I am doing them correctly. When you take apart a little golden book journal, it comes with 2 signatures, and the signature is a long time used expression by bookmakers. And I heard something where they call it a signature because the way a bookmaker bound his books was almost like it was his signature, which kind of makes sense. So, all right. So these two go together. And I mentioned also that these books are perforated. These papers are perforated, whereas these older ones are not. This was one of my experimental pages. So you could just stitch right through there, but I can't do with the perforation. You saw how easy that was to tear apart. It would just totally fall apart. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is line that up. Okay, and the pages go like this. So I need to remember. Okay. And I'm going to use, I think I'll use the bone folder. I think that actually did a slightly better job than the little ball. And I was worried that the bone folder might tear it, but it didn't. Okay. And I'll do this one. Turn it this way. Put this where you can see it. Now I did fold it the first time, and I showed y'all how, and I got that from somebody on YouTube, and I'm sorry I don't remember. I probably watched, I put in Little Golden Book, and I think I watched everything that came up with from Little Golden Book. And I'm going to now tape these down. And so I already mentioned that this is called Score Tape. And I got it on Amazon, and this is 1/8 inch. And I am going to put it right next to this line. I don't know if you can see the line very well, but I can see it well enough. That's okay. I should tell you, my son, this is my youngest son, he is a Star Wars fan. And when we found out about Galaxy's Edge, and of course it opened up in California first, and we were living in North Carolina at the time. And my son really wanted to go there. So let's see. So that's going to go there. So I need to tape here. And he really wanted to go. One of the things that he really wanted to do, he wanted to make his own lightsaber. You go to this place called Savi's Workshop, and you make a lightsaber. And we watched multiple different YouTubers, who went to California or lived in California, who went through Savi's Workshop there and got their own lightsaber. Oh my goodness, I am not going straight enough. There we go. Got their own lightsaber and built it, and he was like, "This, I want to do that, Mom. I really want to do it." And so when we could make a reservation online to do that for Florida, they were sold out. Golly, they were sold out before they practically even started. Oh, I missed a step. I'm going to do this step next, even though I took the tape off of that one. It'll be fine. I've made this kind of a mistake many, many times. It's one of those things that just happens when you are working with paper and paste and tape and glue, and I'll cut it like that. Okay. I cut the other one before I even take the tape off. Anyway, so we went to make the reservations, and they were already all gone. It was like day one. We went on there, and all of the reservations for Savi Workshop were gone. And I said, well, and I'd learned this years before, that one of the things that you tell yourself if you are a big Disney fan or Star Wars fan or whatever, and you're going to go to a park and spend time. Okay, good. Yeah. Sometimes when you go there, you're like, oh, I want to ride this particular ride. I'm so excited, and I'm going to ride this ride and all of that. And you find out, sadly, much to your dismay, that ride is on either refurbishment or it's shut down for whatever, maybe weather. If you're in Florida, very easily could be shut down for weather. Okay, let's see if I can do this better this time. And if it's all shut down and you can't go on it, you say, well, next time. And then, because you didn't get to go on that ride that you wanted to go on, you get to have another next time, right? And so I told my son, well, we will be going to Galaxy's Edge, either on the Galaxy's Edge East or Galaxy's Edge West, meaning, California or Florida. We will be going again, and you can do it next time. Well, we were there for several days. We had annual passes at the time. Oh my goodness, you were, there is a reason probably why nobody does this. This is not easy, but it works. Okay. So maybe after I've done 6 of them, it'll get easier, because I've got another little golden book I'm going to be doing here really soon for my friend. And once again, no matter how hard I tried, there is that little bit of a mistake there, but I'm going to live with it. Let's see, I'll do that. So anyway, we were there. We were there for several days. We had annual passes, so we went, to the parks a little bit every day. And then on the last day that we were there, the very, very, very last day that we were going to be there, we went to Hollywood Studios, is where Galaxy's Edge is in Disney World. in Florida. And Ben said, I am going to check and see if they have a cancellation. And I said, okay, you know. So he walks up to the Savvy's Workshop location, and he said, do you happen to have any cancellations? And they said, yeah, we happen to have one. You need to be paid for and sign. Are you well, first of all, are you prepared to pay for this right now? Yep, he was prepared to pay. He had his credit card and he pulled it out, and they said, you know, and it starts in like 10 minutes. Are you ready to be able to do this in 10 minutes? And he was. No problem. And they asked, and I don't know if they still do this. I think they probably do. You're allowed one person to be your own personal paparazzi, right? And I came with my phone in hand, all ready to be his personal paparazzi. And I took a photo every couple of seconds, I think, or not every photo turned out good. Not every, you know, sometimes you catch them with their eyes closed or whatever, but some were really, really good. And it was something really special. And it was special even for me. I did not make a lightsaber. I just watched my son make a lightsaber and took a picture of every moment of it. And it was a very special thing for me. I enjoyed that. And he enjoyed it too. And so he wanted to be able to remember it. Okay, so which way do I want to do this? Do I want to do it? I think I'm going to do it. No. I'll do it this way. Okay. So I will continue to make these until I am done, and then we will move on to the next step. The last one, and it definitely got easier as I did them. I'm going to be making another little golden book here really soon for a friend of mine. I already mentioned it in my last video that she just got back from going to Oogie Boogie Bash in California at Disney California Adventure there, and I have that Nightmare Before Christmas book ready for her. So we're just going to fill it up with happy memories. She said she took about 80 photos. See, if it was me, I would have taken about 380 photos, but she took about 80. So that is, this book that I have here for my son Ben has about 80 photos in there. So that's definitely an acceptable amount. And anyway, so we'll be getting together in about 2 weeks and getting started on that book. That book will not be made overnight. It does take a while because it's going to be all made. So when she finally does take it home, she's going to come over and help. But when she finally does take it home, it's going to be totally completed. We will leave space for her to write, like I left for Ben to write in this book here. So, but that will be a fun thing to do with a friend and to do for her. She's a special friend of mine. So, anyway, well, I think I will finish this up. You've already seen me do this a few times now, so I'll finish this up and I'll be back. Okay, I'm holding this up and I'm going to try to get an idea of how wide I want the spine to be. So let me kind of let this be a little loose. Now there has to be 1/4 of an inch on either side. So that means I still think 2 1/4 is going to be a good size. I would rather it not be so tight that it's, they call this an alligator mouth, where it's all open really wide. You know, I'd like it to sit on his shelf like that. Okay, if you do not eat cereal, you can always ask your neighbors or friends. If you have kids or grandkids, you probably have a nice supply of cereal boxes. I'm going to see if this will work, if this will cut through this, because if it doesn't, I'm going to have to do it on my guillotine. Oh, it did just fine. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Now let's see. How long is this one? It's not enough. So I'm going to now cut down the second side. I'm glad this worked. Let's try this again. So have you made junk journals? And how did they turn out? And did you enjoy making them? And did they turn out just the way you wanted them to? And how much, oh, this is 20 questions, isn't it? How much, see, I need this to be 8 inches. And how much junk was actually in your junk journal? Or are you like me and they're kind of like mostly junkless journals? And so this is 8 right here. Okay. That's 7, that's 8. I need it to be 8. Yeah, because I struggle with the whole junk part. Just because I like making my own embellishments is really, I mean, that's the thing, is I like making my embellishments. And so I'm going to cut just a little bit off there, just because I want this whole piece to be sturdy. I did use, in a scrapbook page, I was given by a dear friend, another dear friend of mine that also loves Disney, a bottle of 100th anniversary hand soap. And it had then this 100, and it was in an iridescent sort of an iridescent print. And it was purple. It was that 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, purple, and the number 100 was in iridescence. And is that square? I don't think it's square. I'll be back. Okay, so as I was saying, I cut that off of the packaging, kind of like cutting off the word Kellogg right from here. And anyway, I cut that off of the packaging and I used it. There were 2 of them on that packaging, and I used both of them in 2 different scrapbook layouts that I did of the 100th anniversary. Okay. I think I need to be careful with this because I think I want to keep it in the cellophane. So this was something that I also bought. I was following somebody who used, this is Tyvek, It says Tyvek right there. Jam. I got this on Amazon. So what I want to do is measure. Now, this is the first time I've done this, so be kind. Okay, but I do want them to be apart a little bit, and I need to now measure. Because what I want to do is I want the Tyvek to cover, see that little, there's a groove right there. I want it to go just beyond that groove. So I've got this, and this, and this, and you need to leave a little bit of a space. So that it will fold. I want it to go just beyond that. I'm going to be generous, especially with the inside, and make that 4 inches. I can always, like, as I'm kind of looking at it and playing with it, I can always cut it down. I don't know if I want to, I know what I'm going to try. Oh, what did I do with my scraps? Okay, so I'm going to try this. I'm going to see how hard is it to push my awl through 2 of these. Oh, that's not hard at all. Okay, I'm going to make a second one of these and glue it together. Okay, I'm going to get my PVA glue out. From what I understand, and if I'm wrong, I apologize, but from what I understand, this is the kind of glue that was used in bookbinding, and that's why it works so well with paper to paper. However, I could be wrong. So I'm just gluing these together to make it nice and, well, to make a better work face here for the spine, since I now know that my awl pokes through 2 pieces of cereal box cardboard like it's nothing. So that's a good thing. I know. This is my very first one I've ever done. My son won't care. We won't tell him that I'm making mistakes, okay? Of course, mistakes happen. I think I am going to trim that a bit. With my bigger scissors. Don't even ask me where I got these because I have no idea. Had them forever. And once you buy a good pair of scissors and some good quality tools, they honestly last forever. Okay, so this is sort of loose there, so I'm gonna add some more glue. This is how this little teeny thingy that you stick in there works so well. Okay, now I'm going to take my bone folder and press. This is okay. This is my kind of scrap cardboard that I put down just to keep the ring from being annoying. Okay, I'm going to give this a second to dry. I'm going to wipe this little bit up with my little cotton towel there. Okay, now I'm going to cut this. Wonder how well this other cutter will do. So I ended up cutting the Fruit Loop box on my guillotine cutter. And I do like that cutter a lot. I keep one of these around for, well, there's a lot of reasons why I would keep one around. One reason is if I want to put a paper border, say on a layout. So I'm going to cut, so I've got a 12 by 12 piece of paper and I'm going to cut like on 2 sides. I'll take like a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch. And now I want to center that on another color paper. I don't want to waste a whole piece of paper just to show a little teeny edge. So then I use this to cut out a big piece in the middle. And I usually use that piece to make the title and stuff. So we decided 4 inches. So let's see how well this cuts. Because that gave me some wiggle room. Oh, this cuts perfectly. Okay. I was a little worried because this is tough stuff, but... And I want it by 8. There's the 8. This is not nearly as nice as my guillotine bit. It does the trick for right now. Oh yeah. Oh, that was so much easier than I thought. I have spent way too much time worrying. I might as well cut the other piece out right now. Worrying that my cutters wouldn't cut through the Tyvek, that it would just be way too strong and powerful for my wimpy little cutter here. And I worried about all kinds of things. I just wanted it to be perfect, and I finally got over myself, and I decided it doesn't have to be perfect. This has to be made with love. There we go, made with love. So this one is made with love for my son. He just had back surgery. Yeah. Anyway. Okie dokie. Now is again where I'm going into uncharted territory. Is this the same size? What did I do wrong? Oh, this is leftover. That's what I did wrong. Where's the other piece? Here it is. Okay. This is where I go into uncharted territory because I want to put fabric. So I will be back. Okay, so I have this huge dresser full of fabric because I used to quilt. And I'm thinking this will look good with this. I do believe this fabric actually came from a quilt that I made for this son. See, I like the little balls and everything. Definitely has sort of a space-ish, Star Wars-ish vibe. I did find some red fabric in my drawers, and it was Christmas, so this is not Christmas. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. Anyway, I used to quilt. I think I mentioned that my husband went to Iraq back in 2004 and with the Army. It was quite the vacation, not. These are my not paper scissors. These are my rock, paper, scissors. Now, these are my fabric scissors. I decided I wanted to finish up some of these quilts that I had started a while back. And I took a class just last week or the week before. And to kind of a refresher class. And I realized it's been 20 years since I have sewn. So, yeah, 20 years. So that's a lot. And I couldn't even remember how to thread my sewing machine. So I had somebody hold my hand for like every step of the process. I felt really silly. But I'm taking another class at the end of this month to remember how to do quilting on my machine. I really should be practicing some of my straight stitches. Anyway, it's funny how time just gets away from you. So I'm trying to think, I have 3 or 4 unfinished quilts that are like almost finished, but they're not. I'm hoping I'm giving myself enough leeway for this. I have more fabric. So what I want to do, and I spent a lot of time thinking on this as well. I want to cut there. I should probably get my pins out. It's probably rusty. Oh my goodness. It's funny when you know, I enjoyed it while my husband was away. The Army chaplain had made it really clear that we should have something to do besides watch the news and worry, and that to create something out of nothing was, well, not nothing, but to create something out of, like, to take a piece of fabric and some other pieces of fabric and put them together and make a quilt was, you know, there's some endorphins that are released. Another thing about it was that if I had to cut a straight line, like I have rotary cutters, I have all of that. And you have to think straight line, straight line, straight line. And if you start thinking dead husband, which is kind of what I was trying to avoid thinking of, then that if you think something not straight line, next thing you know, you've cut like that. And yeah, not good. So I'm going to use this scoring tape again. Put it a little closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to hope and pray this works. It should be good enough. Where's Snips? Snips. Hey, Sky Guy. You have to be an Ahsoka fan. I mean, you know, to get it. Hopefully you are. You don't have to be. You can like whatever you like. Not all of my children love Star Wars. Pretty much just this one. I remember going to the... Oh, this shows you how old I am. I remember going to the very first Star Wars movie back in 1977. In the theaters. I went to it in the theaters. And it blew my mind. The other movie that really blew my mind, it was a few years later, not a whole lot of years later, but a few, was Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. It was like, what was that? That was like amazing. So, fun stuff. I haven't seen the new one yet. The new Indiana Jones. It hasn't come on Disney Plus yet. We got out of the habit of going to the theater during COVID, and we decided, we went to the theater to see a movie. Oh, this was probably last summer. And there was this whole family that took up the entire row in front of us. And even though it was stadium seating and everything, you know, one by one, each of the kids would, the parent would pop up and grab one of the kids and take them to the bathroom and then sit down. And next few minutes, the parent would pop up and take another kid to the bathroom. And I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I can just, you know, watch it at home at my own leisure. Okay, this is where I really could use a pen. But I will just finish showing you this one and probably do the rest of it off of camera just because you don't want to hear my rambling on about silly stuff. And I'm hoping this looks good. If it doesn't, then you'll never know if I make another one totally off camera, would you? Anyway. I might pull out my pins. I wanted to do this. A lot of the artists, I'm going to call them artists because that's really what they are, but a lot of the artists that I've watched do this process don't flip under their fabric like I'm doing. And it is an extra step, and it is kind of a pain in the butt. But this was one of the things that I was stressed out about, is that they just leave it, and then, you know, there's these little threads hanging, and I think that is a whole junk journal kind of a vibe. But it's not my vibe. We'll see how well PVA glue does, and just doing this one little corner here. What did I do in my fabric tack? Shows you how often I use it. Okay. Well, we'll see if this works. I have this other glue that might work if I... Anyway. Oh yeah, that's gonna work fine. So I'll glue down this corner too. But yeah, so these are the things that stress me out, because I don't want it to fall apart. But then again, like I said, there's that kind of vibe where you have the strings, and that's what you kind of want, that look. And I guess, I can't remember how old I was when my mother taught me how to sew, but I was making my own clothes in high school. And yeah, and I don't sew anymore. But, oh, that one did not work so well. See how it looks on the other side, though. But the idea of having strings just hanging out just does not make me feel happy. Okay, so let's see how this looks. So we've got this here. I may have to cut a little bit of that off. And then this. And then I'm going to try it like this just to see. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to do it like this. Just to get an idea of how this is going to look. All right. Well, let's try this out. Okay, so I'm going to cut a tiny bit off of here. Okay, so I'm going to glue with this. My son was tiptoeing by. Okay. So I'm going to put this. I'm going to like that. I think I'll put a book on it and let it dry. We're going to call this a day for now, and I'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, if you liked this video and you would like to subscribe and hit the notification bell and hit that thumbs up, here we go, thumbs up, the like button, I would really appreciate it. That would be awesome. And I hope y'all have a wonderful day.